Hi, good evening, everyone. Good afternoon as well. I hope all of you are doing good. Welcome back to the reading practice session, the last class for this week. So, am I audible to all of you before we begin? All right, thank you. So let me share my screen and we will start with today's test. Make sure that you're timing yourself, make sure you're participating, you're sending your answers in the chat box, and make sure that when we are having the discussion, you are not just focusing on marking your answers as right or wrong, you're also focusing on noting down the ways, the techniques, the methods, the rules for reading, for eliminating, for selecting, so that you can use all those methods when you are solving your questions by yourself, whether in the portal or in the exam. So the more number of notes you take, the better will be your scores in the exam. So let's begin with today's test. We will start with reading writing questions. Here is the first question on the screen, and you have 2.5 minutes to post your answers in the chat box, after which we will have the discussion, followed by your queries or doubts if you have any. Please avoid asking for repetitions because in that case we won't be able to complete the test. So listen carefully when the explanation is going on. We will repeat it 2 times and then you can ask for anything that I missed or anything that I did not talk about or anything that um, you could not understand because it was not discussed. So here is your first question. You have 2.5 minutes and then post your answers in the chat box, please. All right, should be done. Anybody left to post the answer? Very well attempt. Good start. Almost all of you. Okay, let's discuss the answers. The global warming controversy is an dash dispute about the effects of humans on global climate and about what policies should be dashed to avoid possible undesirable effects of climate change. The first method to rightly read the paragraph or the context is to always read till the full stop. The first mistake, or the very common mistake that students generally make, is to stop reading in the middle of the sentence and then fitting their answers. When you're reading a sentence for the very first time, make sure that you are reading it complete. Does not matter that you have understood it or you have not understood it. Now looking at the second thing is always look at grammar after that before you look at your options. So with and comes something that starts with the vowel A, E, I, O, U. So you can eliminate anything which does not start with the vowel or any word that cannot come with an. So upcoming, introductory, ongoing. They all start with the vowel. Now we talk about the context after that at step number 3. Global warming controversy is dash dispute, is an ongoing, introductory. So global warming is not something introductory, or upcoming means something to happen in the future, but we already have global warming. So everybody's writing selecting ongoing means it is the current dispute that we have. And the dispute is about the effects of humans on global climate and about what policies should be dashed to avoid its effects. When you are selecting, when you're at number 3 and you are selecting your answers based on context, at that point of time, you should try to eliminate as many words as you can, and you should try to shorten the sentence as much as you can. What policies should be dashed to avoid the effects of climate change? So now looking at grammar again, with be comes third form of verb. So anything which is not third form, you can eliminate that first. Now going with the matching, that which verb matches with the noun policies. Policies, do we provide policies? Do we implement policies, or do we allocate policies? This is called matching strategy. When you match that, generally, what is the verb that we use with the noun policies? So policies are not distributed. Policies are made. In a very, very general language, policies are made. So we don't provide, we don't give policies to anybody. Rather, we implement. Implement means we make the policies and we use them. Put into use is called implemented. The current scientific consensus on climate change is that recent warming indicates, present tense of verb is being used. Recent warming indicates a fairly stable long-term trend, that the trend is largely human caused, and that serious dash may result at some future date if steps are not taken to halt the trend. Now one serious dash. So we need a noun. Serious dash may result. What may result? You should always try to create a question on the blank. Whenever your question is what, the answer will always be a noun. So you can eliminate anything which is not a noun. Spoil is not a noun. Detrimental is not a noun. Effect is not a noun. The one with E is effect. And we are left with only one word which is a noun. So damage is the only possible option that we have. You should not even look at the meaning or any second opinion, because there's no possibility that anything else can come. So one of the important strategies to solve your question is like the steps that we are discussing. First, read the complete sentence, then look at any grammar hint, and then contextually, then matching strategy. One of these is when you're looking your answer, you should always find, first of all, what do you need to fill your blank with? Do you need a noun, a verb, an adjective, or an adverb? Because if you know that I need a noun, not all 4 options will always be the noun. So that will help you to eliminate what is not a noun, right? Mainstream scientific organizations worldwide concur with the assessment that most of the observed warming over the last 50 years is dashed to have been due to human-caused increase in greenhouse gas concentrations. So here they say, if we shorten the sentence, so organizations have assessed that most of the warming over the 50 years is to have been due to human caused increase. Is, how is it? So this is the topic, increase in global warming, and this is the reason. So we have to connect the topic with the reason. So how can we connect? Is mostly due to human. Mostly means out of 100%, 60% is because of human. Does the sentence mean this? Is surely due to human. So 100% of the global warming is 100% due to human increase. Is likely to be because of human cause, or is possible to have been. Possible and likely both are synonyms. When you want to say possibility of something, the academic word to say possible is likely. And the answer here is also likely because we are not given any hint that this is surely because of human caused increase in greenhouse gas concentration. This is just scientific organizations with their assessment that they are saying this thing. And mostly it is not about how much of the global warming. We are saying possibly most of the warming. They have already used most here, so we cannot use most again, right? Because this most is also meaning the same, that more than 50%. And if we put mostly here, this will also mean the same, more than 50%. So they say most of the warming over the last 50 years is possibly due to human caused increase. Is likely means possibly. However, there is also a small but vocal number of scientists in climate and climate related fields that dash with the consensus view. Now, did you realize why surely cannot be the answer? Because there are some people who do not agree with this point. In the next sentence, they said that not everybody is with the same consensus. So we cannot say surely. However, there are small but vocal number of scientists, means plural is the topic, plural is the noun, scientists that dash with. So scientists is plural, we need a verb without s, that is the first thing, and the verb should also match with the word with. So scientists that challenge with, scientists that protest with, so protest comes with protest against something or someone. Scientists that contradict with, contradict comes with the word to, and disagree and agree come with the word with. Right? So the answer will surely be disagree. We don't have a choice. Contradict comes with to, protest comes with against, and challenge doesn't make sense. Scientists that challenge with the view. If the answer is challenge, you don't need anything like with to. You can say scientists that challenge that view, or scientists that challenge the view. So challenge doesn't come with any is, to, sorry, to, with, against, or anything like that. Right? So these are the answers. The first one, we all know that global warming is an ongoing topic, ongoing debate, ongoing dispute, ongoing challenge. There can be any noun we can use for global warming. With B comes third form of verb, and policies are not distributed. Policies are made, policies are implemented, policies are put to use. These are the words we use with policies. Serious dash may result. So we need a noun. There was only one noun in the four options, damage. Fourth one was based on context. Most is already they have said, so we cannot say it again. Possible and likely. Likely is more academic. Surely cannot come because not all the people are agreeing. The next sentence says that some of the scientists don't agree with this. Contradict comes with to, protest with against, and disagree with the word with. And because we had with in the sentence, so we'll go with disagree. Right? You mean contradict always come with to, not with. It's not in the problem in English language is that there is no always here. The language is so complex. The only problem about English language is its complexity. Do you know that every year so many new words are added to English language? Every year, on yearly basis, they add new words to English language. So new words means more academic versions keep on coming. So unfortunately, there is no always. Why have we selected likely, Prabjot? What reason did I give for selecting likely and not possible? That likely is more academic. Yeah. Okay, any other confusions in this question, anybody? Yes, likely is used as an adverb also. because when you use likely in the form of ly, you use it as adverb, but you can use likely without using it as an adverb as well. Means generally the check of adverb is that the sentence should be complete, but likely can come uh, even when sentence is incomplete without justifying the use of adverb. So Deepak, the same thing I'm saying. Contradict comes with the word to. Disagree comes with the word with. What we have after the blank is with. So we cannot go with contradict. When you use contradict in this, say that you can say I contradict to this statement. You won't say I contradict with this statement, because with is otherwise used to support a point of view. So you say I agree with this, or I disagree means I don't agree with this. You cannot say I contradict with this. I contradict to this. So this is about the basic rules of grammar, the basic writing styles, the writing combinations of English language. This is more about when you will have a deeper research on prepositions, the use of prepositions, the use of what is it called? Determiners. Then these things you'll start understanding the writing styles. But anyhow, that's not important at this point of time, because I know everybody is just interested in clearing the exam. That is our motive at the point. So you can keep noting these things. So you have 2.5 minutes for question number 2 on your screens, and then post your answers, please. Okay, Farhan, where did you do this day before yesterday? I didn't do this day before yesterday. Let's discuss the answers for this question. Johns Hopkins University researchers discovered precisely how spiders build webs by using night vision and artificial intelligence to track and dash every movement of all 8 legs as spiders worked in the dark. So we are talking about researchers. They have discovered about how spiders make their webs using the night vision and artificial intelligence. So researchers are using artificial intelligence and night vision. Obviously, spiders cannot use these things. So researchers are using AI and night vision to track and dash. So they have used first form of verb. We also need first form of verb to track every movement of 8 legs and to dash every movement of 8 legs. Capturing is not first form. Evidence is a noun. All the words that end with ence and ance are noun. This thing we have covered in the grammar sessions. So record or show. So the researchers, they track and they show every movement or they record every movement. So artificial intelligence and night vision means cameras they are using. They're using it to record the things, not to show it. An exhibit means when you actually present and show in an exhibition kind of thing, that is exhibit. Their creation of a web building playbook or algorithm brings new understanding of how creatures with brains a fraction of the size of a human's are able to create structures with such elegance, complexity, and geometric dash. So elegance is a noun, complexity is a noun. We need the third word also a noun, and that should be geometric something. Some of you have written accuracy. When we say this answer is accurate, accurate means correct. Inaccurate means incorrect. Refinement cannot be used with geometric because geometric is used with like angles 50 degrees, 60 degrees, that is geometry. Lines, how straight are the lines, that is geometry. Refinement is a process by which, let's say, refinement of water. So impurities are removed and the liquid is refined, made more pure, that is refinement. Precision is perfection, and specification, when you specify something, I need this, this, this in my coffee, that is specification. So when we are talking about the web of a spider, can we say it is geometric accuracy or geometric precision? See, what do you mean by geometric accuracy? If let's say a spider is making a web and one of the string of the web is slightly not at its point, we cannot say the web is incorrect. Can we say it is an inaccurate web? Because the web doesn't go wrong in case one of the strings goes here and there. So what they are saying, how creatures with brains, with so small brains, how are they able to make the webs with such elegance, complexity, and geometric precision? Means how is there so much perfection? We are not saying that whether the webs are right or wrong. We are saying how are they so perfect? Precision means accuracy and exactness, which together makes precision and which has an element of perfection in it. That how is every string at a perfect angle? That is precision. Web weaving spiders that build blindly using only the sense of touch have dashed humans for centuries. So looking at grammar, have comes with third form of verb. The noun is spiders have dash humans. So what can an insect do with humans? Spiders have interested humans. So we cannot say interested humans. We can say spiders have been interested in humans, to make interested at least sensible here. Spiders have fascinated, makes sense. Fascinated means attracted. Arising curiosity, that is fascinated. Perturbed is a negative word. Perturbed means when you feel anxiety, you're upset, you're sad, that is perturbed. And spiders have disturbed humans. So spiders have not disturbed us. We can say they have fascinated us, means they have attracted us, because we are so fascinated that how can they do this? Even a human being cannot be so geometrically perfect, but how can they? Because they have so small brain as compared to humans. Not all spiders build webs, but those that do are among a subset of animal species known for their architectural creations like nest building birds and puffer fish that create elaborate sand circles when mating. The first step to understanding how the small brains of these animal architects support their high-level construction projects is to systematically document and analyze the behaviors and motor skills involved. So now they are telling us that how can we understand? The first step to understand how the small brains, the sentence is absolutely complete. So we need a describing word. How the small brains of these animals support such high-level projects. Relatively small, little and small all means the same. So we cannot say something is little and small together. How the enough small brains. Enough is used when you want to say something is as it is required, not more than required. So can we say their brains are enough small? Means we don't want to make them more small. That is the meaning of enough. And more or less small brains. More or less means average. For example, you can say, I have almost finished the assignment. So you can say, more or less my assignment is finished. Means on an average, it is finished. But here the answer should be relatively, because relatively can mean comparatively as well. So we were comparing the size of the brain of these small insects with the human's size of the brain. That is why we are saying that relatively small means comparatively small brains, how they support such high level construction projects. And then which dash now has never been done. So what comes with now? Because now signifies a time period, now the current time. Which already now, never. Something which is never cannot be already, because already is used when something is done. Which still now, still doesn't come with now, unless also doesn't come with now, but until and now is a collocation. Until now or till now, both of them means the same. Until is more academic than till. So which until now has never been done, mainly because of the dash of capturing and recording the actions. The grammar says after the and before of we need a noun. So because of the dash of capturing and recording the sessions. Demanding is not a noun. Problems of capturing and recording, challenges of capturing, or objections. So objections come with two. I have objection to this. Objections to objection means when a person comes and does not agree or object to something. So it comes with two. Problems or challenges. So what I have got as the answer, Suganya was not expecting objections from you. Who is coming and objecting that don't record the spiders? Good, most of you have got the right answer when you selected challenges, because problems is used for a negative thing. For example, you can say, what are the problems of global warming? Because global warming is a negative thing. You have problems because of global warming. But when something is not easy to do, you don't say we have problems. You say there are challenges, means we have to sort out a few things. We have to apply strategies. We have to find new technologies. We have to innovate something. So that is, you have challenges and you have to solve those challenges, means the path is not very easy. That's how we use the word challenges in something, right? So we'll say why we haven't till now analyzed or documented the behaviors and motor skills, because there are challenges of capturing and recording. It's not very easy to go with the camera and straight away start recording. There must be a lot of challenges in capturing and recording the actions of spiders, because they're very small at the end of the day, right? So these are the answers. The first one, we needed first form of verb, track and record. We don't want to say to track and show the every movement. We just say track and record every movement using night vision and artificial intelligence. The second one, precision and accuracy. Accuracy means right or wrong, accurate or inaccurate. Precision is when you say how perfect are they. So the way the sentence has been framed, they wanted to praise that such elegance, such complexity, and such precision, that how perfect are they, because the web of the spider cannot be right or wrong. It's perfect or not perfect, but it doesn't go wrong. Third one, spiders have dash humans. So spiders have fascinated humans. Fascinated means attracted, because of, obviously we are saying how they do this, how they do that, how can they do this with so small brain. This is attraction. We are interested in them. So, but we cannot say spiders have interested humans. made humans interested in them, then we can use interested. Then it is relatively small brains because we are comparing the brains of spiders with humans. The fifth one until now is a collocation, and with the comes a noun. So we have problems and challenges. Something which is not easy to do, we don't call it a problem, we call it a challenge. But something which is otherwise also a negative concept, negative thing, then you can use problems in that case. Right? Any confusion, anybody? What is the confusion in the last one, Harpal? Let's take another example. So there was a question only we did last week that there are dash in recruiting the employees. Problems or challenges? Objection comes with two. Yes, right. Objection to something. So for example, the example that I am giving is there are dash in recruitment of employees. So you won't say there are problems in recruitment. There's no problem. There are challenges because there's so many applications, there's so many bases, so many different people. So there are challenges you're facing. We won't say problems in that case, right? An objection comes with two. So you might have heard the word, I object to this, my lord. So you don't say I object with this. I object to this. Please explain ADJ words means. I said the ones that end with ENCE and ANCE are nouns, not adjectives. And for this prab, everything which is these things, the basics that I use in these classes, there are lots of them and all of them have been included in the grammar videos that you already have on your Language Academy portal. So everybody is expected to watch those two videos in the very first week when you start attending these classes. Only then these will be helpful because you will have the basic information when you're coming to these classes. Like for example, you need to know ABCD before you start writing. So those classes are just the ABC of grammar that if you will do, it will be easier. It's not that you cannot do without, but then lots of things will be confusing to you, which if you watch the videos will become very, very easy. Okay, anyhow, question number 3 on your screens. You have 2.5 minutes to post your answers, please. All right, should be done. Let's discuss the answers. Please post those who haven't. How do you know these tools are primary or secondary? How do you know that these are basic tools or advanced tools? Those who have written primary as the first answer. So one method of solving the questions is to keep a control on your assumptions. A lot of you assume things, assume the answers based on a different story that's going in your mind, not on the basis of what the context is saying. So one strategy is don't assume, only look at what is written in the paragraph. Conservation canines are fast becoming tools for biologists, according to 𝗖𝗍𝘀𝗀, Associate Director and co-founder of Working Dogs for Conservation based in Three Forks, Montana. So we have a statement, a fact, something is becoming dash tools for biologists, said this person. So now we have absolute tools. There's no meaning of absolute or non-absolute. Primary, secondary, or primary. One primary is primary, secondary. One primary is basic. And the opposite of primary is advanced tools. Then we have obligatory means compulsory. And indispensable is a collocation with tool. Haven't you heard the word indispensable tool together? Which simply means important. When you read the context, you'll come to know that they are talking positive about conservation canines. That means they are important. That's it. And indispensable tool is a collocation. Like you say, indispensable part, indispensable role, indispensable tool, which simply shows that this thing is important. So no assumptions. This is the 7th rule for the day that I am explaining. And let's see how many total we'll get at the end of this day, which I believe will be more than 10 easily. Over the last few years, though, so whenever we have a connector, you have to read it in the beginning of the sentence. Rule number 8. Though over the last few years, so many new conservation dog projects have dashed that herd can no longer keep track of them all. So easy sentence. So many conservation dog, we should look at grammar first. With have comes third form of verb. So anything which is not third form, come up is not third, came along can be, sprung up, gone through. Okay, everything is past at least. So can we say new conservation projects have came along? Along means with. With what have they come? So along means with something. So came along. The next thing is not given along what, so we cannot say along. Sprung up simply means come up. Sudden increase in something is said as sprung up, come up. And can we say conservation projects have gone through? So conservation projects and are non-living things. You can say I have gone through the papers. I have gone through the rules. But conservation projects have gone through doesn't make sense. So we can say we have seen a lot of new conservation projects, which simply means new conservation projects have come up in the last years that herd can no longer keep track of them all. Her organization's dogs and their handlers are fully booked to assist field researchers into 2012. Dogs have such a phenomenal sense of smell, explained this person who is a director at this university. He has worked with detection dogs since 1999. So whenever your context has names of universities or names of people, don't waste your time on reading the names of universities or reading the names of people. So you can say this university, this person, this post. So we don't need to say post or names or universities. Scientists have been using conservation canines in their research since 1999. These dogs, that means here were the information given that conservation canines is a breed or a variety of dogs. That's why we are saying scientists have been using conservation canines. These dogs means this is the name of some dogs. These dogs dash them to non-invasively access vast amount of genetic and physiological information, which is used to tackle conservation problems. Yes, Umair, I'll repeat that. I think I missed that come is the third form. Thank you. So what you have come up in the third blank is, some of you have written enable, some of you have written have enabled. So what is the difference between enable and have enabled? When do we use simple present tense and when do we use present perfect tense? So let's take example. They make charts. They make charts. They have made a chart. So they make charts is a general quality, that these are the people who make charts, any drawing charts. Doesn't mean that they have made a chart or they have not made a chart. This is their profession, this is their occupation. They make charts. And what is when I say they have made a chart? Means right now they have completed to make a chart, a special one. They have made. So this is a difference between present and present perfect. Have is used when something is started and completed in the present scenario. And simple present just give us a fact that they can do this or they generally do this. These dogs enable them to access vast amounts of information which is used. That means they should have provided the information because we are already using it. So we cannot go with enable. We are not giving the general profession or the general duty of these dogs. We are saying these dogs have enabled vast amount of information which is used, means they have provided information which is used to tackle conservation problems dash the world. So around the world is a general collocation when we want to say generally every part of the world, not talking about any one particular country or any one particular state or city. When you want to say everywhere in the world, then we use the collocation around the world. Such information has proved vital for determining the causes and dash of human disturbances on wildlife. So they have used plural noun. We will also need plural noun. So anything which is singular, we can first eliminate that. Now they want to determine means find out, finding the causes and dash of human disturbances on wildlife. So something that human disturbances is having on wildlife should be negative word. So we cannot say other than that. Causes and reasons means the same. So we cannot say causes and reasons because this won't signify anything different. Causes and factors of human disturbance on wildlife, or causes and consequences, because we need a negative word. Human disturbances on wildlife are having consequences, negative impacts. So that's why it should be consequences. Right, so these are the answers. The first one, we don't know they are primary tools, secondary tools, or they are advanced tools or basic tools, but indispensable tool is a collocation, and it simply means that this is important. And when we read the whole context also, we come to know that, okay, this is important. Conservation canines play a very important role. They are dogs and they are playing an important role. The second one mistake that I said come up is present tense, but yes, come, came, and come is the third form as well. So come up is equally possible with have, because the third form of come is also come. So the reason for selecting sprung up over come up will be both of them means exactly the same. They're kind of synonyms, but sprung up is more academic than saying come up. So you should go with sprung up on the academic strength basis, right? The third one, which most of you found confusing, and that's why I gave the example, enable. When we say these dogs enable, that's a general fact that how these dogs work generally. But when you say these dogs have provided information which is used, means you're specifying that they have done this particular work and which is used to tackle the conservation problems, to solve the conservation problems. We cannot say would enable because would shows future tense, past form of will. This means that in the past, they would have done this, which is not done. But this work is done because we are saying it is used. So if it is not done, how come it is used? And are enabling means present tense. They're right now doing it. But again, we have already used it. So if they are right now providing the information, how are we using it, or how have we already used it? So that's why it should be have enabled to access the information. They have made it possible to get the information which is used to tackle the environmental or conservation problems. And then around the world is a collocation, causes and consequences, because we need negative word. Causes and consequences of human disturbances on wildlife, and also the way they have completed the sentence, as well as the actions needed to mitigate such impacts. So there should be impacts, only then it can be mitigated. They can be mitigated, and factors don't show impacts. Consequences show negative results, and that is why we can mitigate them. So these are the answers. Any confusions? Because I select only first line as I can fast becoming. Yes, Prab. So that doesn't mean if the first sentence is in present continuous, the whole of the paragraph will be in present continuous, because from here start a story. And this was a general statement. That is why there's a separation of paragraph. Otherwise, they won't separate the paragraphs. So when there is a separation of paragraphs, you have to ask yourself, you have to tell yourself that why are they doing this? They cannot do this without a reason. What is the reason? Because there is a change in the scenario. Shaina, you can do that, but my job is to make you explain, because there can be instances where you have to use present perfect and it is not being used in the whole of the paragraph. So you should know the right reason also, the grammatical understanding also. But if this works, then there's no harm in doing that. But try if you can clarify your concepts, because we never know what's going to come up in the exam in front of us. So for those situations also try that you are trying to clarify the concepts as well. Right? Yes, indispensable would be an adjective. All good with everybody in this question? Okay, question number 4 on your screens. 2.5 minutes and then post your answers. Okay, should be done. Let's discuss the answers. Lots of things to learn in this question as well. We wouldn't make it far in life without motor proteins. Our muscles wouldn't contract, we couldn't grow, because the growth process requires cells to duplicate their machinery and pull the copies dash. Looking at the options, pull away is a collocation. Pull away means to withdraw from something. You can please note it down. Pull away means to withdraw. Pull apart means to something which is divided, that is pull apart. Pull ahead means to lead in a race or a competition, that is pull ahead. And pull afar is no collocation. So when we are talking about cells, cells don't lead in a race, or cells don't withdraw, but yes, cells divide. So pull apart, we all know this basic thing that cells divide themselves, only then we grow. So we basically are made up of just one cell, and then the cells keep on dividing and our growth happens, and then so all this is all about division of cells, that how human beings are made. Pull the copies apart means divide the cells, and our genes would be silent without the services of messenger RNA, which dash genetic instructions over to the cell's protein making factories. Messenger is singular, so we need a verb with S. This messenger dash genetic information. We have all the verbs with S, so we have to go with the context. This messenger moves genetic instructions particularly, carries instructions, brings instructions, or takes instructions. What other preposition we have is over to. Over to is used when you want to say that it goes over, and then to is the destination. That means we have to go with carries, because carries means we are showing movement. Over was very important here. Over shows that you have to show the movement. So it means this messenger which carries instructions over to the protein making factories. We cannot say brings. We can say brings if it is not over. Brings to here. Takes is a very common word, and this is not about movement. This is about this. What is the work of this messenger? This messenger RNA, it carries, means it is its duty to carry the instructions, not just move the instructions. The movements that make these cellular activities dash occur along a complex network of thread-like fibers, along which bundles of molecules travel like trams. Please try to understand this sentence structure, not only for this particular blank, because many a times we get this sentence structure in questions. What they do is they put the subject, the movements, and then they explain the movements. They don't continue the sentence. They continue the sentence after putting a piece of explanation, and then they put the verb, means from here the sentence continues. Basically, the sentence means the movements occur along a complex network of thread-like fibers. What they generally do is they give you a blank in place of occurs. And before this, they will give you a plural noun, so that you get, or they can give you a singular noun also, so that you get confused that what do I need? Do I need to fix the verb according to singular noun, or do I need to fix the verb according to the plural noun? So please make sure that the word written before that in this sentence structure is the noun, the movements. So if in case this word is the blank, you will need it without S always, right? So the movements occur along a complex network of thread-like fibers. Which movements? Now this is the explanation. Movements that make these cellular activities dash. So these are the movements which make the cellular activities possible. Simply making something possible. Potential movements cannot make activities potential. Movements cannot make activities workable. Movements are already working. And movements cannot make activities probable. It's not even a noun. So what can movements make? Movements can make things possible. That was a simple answer, not really based on context. Then they say for fuel, these proteins burn molecules of ATP, which cells make when they dash the carbohydrates and fats from the foods we eat. So with they is the noun, we need a verb without S. So they destroy the carbohydrates and fats from the food we eat. So the food that we eat, the carbohydrates and fats are not destroyed. We need carbohydrates and fats. Divide the carbohydrates and fats, or use or break down. This is also more of a general information, general knowledge based answer, that whatever we eat, it gets breaks down in our body. So it's not divided or used or destroyed, but everything that we eat, particularly food that we eat, the body breaks it down into numerous, like glucose. Glucose is separate, sugars is separate, carbohydrates is separate, fats are separated. So everything is separated. The energy from burning ATP causes changes in the protein's shape that allow them to leave themselves along the polymer track. The results are dash, and there is not a full stop here. There is a colon. Means whatever answer you have to put here is to be based on this explanation. And I'm surprised to see that you have written the results are frequent. What is the meaning of frequent? Something that happens over and over again. Repeated things is frequent, happening at a fixed time interval, or even if not fixed, but happening over and over again is called frequent. Frequent doesn't mean quick. Repetition should be infrequent. And they say in 1 second, these molecules can travel between 50 and 100 times their own diameter. If a car with a 5-foot wide engine were as efficient, it would travel 170 to 340 kilometers per hour. So they wanted to say the results are impressive, means our body works at the speed that if we compare it with the car would be at the speed of 340 kilometers per hour. This is the speed with which our body works. So this is an impressive thing. We cannot even think of driving the car at 340. That's why they were saying it is impressive that in 1 second they travel, or they travel between 50 to 100 times. It is the distance that they cover. So these are the answers. The first one, pull apart, means divide, and we know division of cells is a possible scenario. Pull away or pull ahead, cells cannot do that. Cells cannot lead in a race, or pull away, cells don't withdraw in our body. Carries, because we were talking about the function of the messenger RNA. So what does this RNA do? RNA carries information from one place to the other place in the body. We cannot say brings information, because it doesn't first go and then comes back. That would be bring, going from the destination to get something and get back at the destination. That would be bring. Cellular activity. So this was just these movements make the activities possible, and then these movements occur along. So you could have read the movements twice separately, one with the first explanation part and then one with the verb explanation part. So with they come singular noun, and all were singular, but this is carbohydrates and fats are broken down in our body. They are not destroyed or used or divided, but yes, the food is broken down. And the results are impressive because of the explanation that they have given, that they are comparing it with the speed of the car. And it's really impressive that how our body works so fast than a car. Right? Any questions or confusions, anybody? Is it all good with this question? Yes or no? Okay. Question number 5, 2.5 minutes to post your answers. Some of you have done very, very well. Very good. But almost all of you have done a very, very silly mistake, like foolish mistake. Phonological skills in young children dash at a number of different levels. The topic is plural. The noun is plural, skills. So is cannot come with skills. Happens cannot come with skills because these two come with singular nouns. Are we saying these skills will be measured or will be analyzed or can be measured? Can be means possibility, will means future. When you read the context, you come to know that they have already done this a number of times. So it's not about future. It's just a fact that we can do this at different levels. The term phonological awareness is a global one and refers to a deficit in recognizing smaller units of sound dash spoken words. Units of sound within spoken words is the right answer. By spoken words, among or at. See, what is the difference? If you have gone through the grammar videos, you will know the uses of the prepositions. At generally comes with time of the day or at with places. Among comes when you want to say something is more than two. That is among. So here, if we put among, what it means is refers to deficit in recognizing small units of sound among spoken words. Means they are having difficulty that if we speak 8-10 different words, they are unable to recognize small units of sound. But actually they're saying within, means inside of those words, they are unable to recognize the small units of sound. Because when we speak one word, there are different sounds, like sounds of, if we say measured, there is sound of M, S, E, D. So these were the sounds that they were talking about. Developmental work has shown that this dash can be at the level of syllables, of onsets, rhymes, and of phenoms. So this comes with a singular noun. This lack, shortfall, default, or deficit. You just simply had to go with what the topic is, and the answer was deficit. A 5-year-old might have difficulty in recognizing, okay, for example, a 4-year-old child might have difficulty in recognizing that a word like Valentine has 3 syllables. Now your answer that you had to put within here also can come from the example. A word like Valentine has 3 syllables, means only one word. How many sounds do we have within that one word? And that is why the answer here is within. Suggesting a lack of syllabic awareness. A 5-year-old might have difficulty in recognizing that the odd word out in the set of words fan, cat, hat, mat is fan. This task requires and dash of the subsyllabic units. What is the answer? Understanding or awareness? What is the topic? They just use the word awareness so many times to tell you that this is the topic, phonological awareness. There is lack of awareness, and that is why it requires awareness, not understanding. If they would have used understanding, we can also go with understanding. Using understanding is not wrong, but we cannot go out of the topic. The topic is not understanding. The topic is knowing. They don't know the things. They're not aware of the things. The onset corresponds to any initial consonants in a syllable and the rhyme dash to the vowel. So this is just like plan A resulted in this and plan B resulted in that. So you have to follow the same verb that they have used. The onset corresponds to this and the rhyme, we will also go with corresponds to that. Right? This was one of those questions where you might not understand the context, means in terms of understanding interpretation would be difficult. But the answers were very, very obvious because they were in the question itself. So you don't need to understand, you just need to read properly and you could have got your answers. Right? So the first one is can be, because they have already done it. They are measuring phonological skills at different levels, at 4-year-old, 5-year-old, and then sound within the spoken words. This was clear for the example. And this deficit, because the topic was about deficit. And then awareness, because again the topic is about awareness. And the last one is simply based on following the verb. The onset corresponds to this and the rhyme corresponds to that. right? So those who are writing relates, those who are writing understanding, this is called overthinking, time wastage in the exam. So one problem that we have to overcome in the exam is overthinking as well, right? Don't overthink. The second one is within, because what does the example say? Recognizing smaller units of sound within the spoken words means how many sounds do we have in a spoken word or in the spoken words. It's not that you have to find out the sounds among. Among means out of the 5 words you have to identify the sounds. No, you have to identify the sounds in every word that is within. Among will use out of 5, you have to select 1. So when you have to recognize sounds among words, that will be out of the words 1. But within means in the words you have to recognize the sounds. Like they gave the example that Valentine has 3 syllables. So in Valentine we have 3 syllables, right? Okay. Let's move on to reorders, your favorite questions. And you have 2 minutes to solve the first question. 2 minutes, and then post your answers in the chat box. Very well done, Jagruti. Good attempt, good time management. Those who have got the right answer, like Suganya, Sisha, Hashi, but have taken a lot of time. So your thinking is going right, but time management is something that you need to work on. So the first, what were the hints? There was a hint here. Always create questions on pronouns. However, was a hint there. Conjunctions or connectors are always important. This is the first sentence because this is where we are introducing two people, Galileo and Newton, and then we are explaining just one of them in the following sentences. Some of you have written A as the first sentence. If A is the first sentence, then what is Newton doing here? If you just want to talk about Galileo, your first sentence is Galileo, then how come Newton come into without changing the story? The first sentence is C, modern science is a comparatively recent creation and can be said to have originated with Galileo and Newton, two different people. Out of this, Galileo was the first scientist to recognize clearly that the only way to further our understanding of the physical world was to resort to experiment. And then before there, we have to put some plural noun. There means whose, THEIR, there means some plural human being or some plural noun. Till now, we haven't talked about any plural noun, but in D, we have a plural noun, which is Greeks. So there means Greeks instruments of measurement. Otherwise, there is no answer to there. So connectors, conjunctions, and pronouns. The easiest ways and the most used ways of solving reorders, connectors, conjunctions, pronouns. If you're looking at them carefully, it's going to be the right answer. Very well done. A lot of you have done well. Those who have written BD, please make sure that you are never missing pronouns because 50% of your reorders can be solved just by looking at pronouns and you're not looking at them. Harshit, please note it down. So here you have question number 2. 2 minutes and then post your answers. No, Sisha, there is no rule like this that however can be a conclusion statement or not. It can be, it cannot be. It's a completely 50% chance, means it will depend on the context. Rather, the right way to put the however statement is to put it where the contrast is. So however will come after you have written a statement and the however statement is the opposite of that statement. So however statement should be written with respect to the previous statement, not looking at it is 1, 2, 3 or 4th place. What did I say in the previous sentence? Only three things: connectors, conjunctions, pronouns. And you have again missed one out of these only. You don't listen, you don't write. The first sentence is D. Those who are putting E as the first sentence, is your topic just the origin of cricket, or your topic is cricket? Your topic is cricket. Your topic is not just origin of cricket. When you have a sentence about cricket and one about origin of cricket, what is wider? Cricket itself is a wider term than talking about what was the past, what is the present, and what is the future of cricket. So D will be first. Cricket is a global passion everywhere, from test match arenas to village greens, tropical beaches, dusty back lots. Everywhere it's a passion. How did it start? The origin of cricket is somewhere in the dark ages. Then you have missed ABC because you didn't look at but here. So in this you have 18th century, in this you have 16th century. Maybe these can be connected. Did you see? Cricket was first recorded in 16th century England, and it was played in grammar schools and everywhere. But things really took off when 18th century nobles realized it was a great sport. Don't you think these are connected with but? That yes, it was, people started playing it in 16th century, but it became popular in the 18th century. Things really took off when 18th century nobles realized it was a great sport. How can you put C in between these two? And then saying cricket was recorded in 16th century, then you're explaining something else, and then you're saying but 18th century became popular. What is this but doing after C? When it has no relation with but, and B and C with but means no contrast is given. So rather the third sentence was C. You say that origin of cricket is somewhere in the dark ages. All research concedes that the game derived from a very old, widespread, uncomplicated pastime. This is also origin of cricket. That what our research tells us about origin of cricket. Where did it come from? It is derived from. Where it came from is deriving from. And then talking about the years, 16th century it started, but it became popular in 18th century. So contrast, or kind of contrast can be said in the time periods. Connectors, conjunctions, pronouns. Note it down now. Okay, third and the last question for reorders. 2 minutes for this. Good, well done. AC is a very good pair. So there are reorders in which you have to frame your answer based on time. So for example, you start with throughout human history, the leading causes of death have been infection and trauma. This is about human history. And then modern medicine has scored significant victories against both. So both is referring to infection and trauma. So reference works here. When you have things like these, those, such, both, so then you use reference in that case. So we have finished the story of past history. Now what you say, the major causes of ill health and death are now the chronic degenerative diseases such as artery arthritis, cancer, degeneration, what is it, macular degeneration, Alzheimer's, cataract, all these are the now ones diseases. And now you have a direct reference again, pronoun strategy. These have, these means the names that you just gave. These refer to all of these things. These have a long latency period before symptoms appear and a diagnosis is made. It follows the majority of apparently healthy people are pre-ill, because you just said that it takes time before the symptoms appear and we can diagnose. So actually healthy looking people are not healthy, they are pre-ill already, but symptoms don't appear. So this B has to come first because of these. So D sentence is also related to these diseases, but it doesn't have a direct reference like these. That is why this will come first and then D can follow. So again, this was based on reference, first with the word both, and then the reference with the word these. And there was a difference in 2 time periods, history and now. Yes, Suganya, right. 3 out of 4. All right, let's move on to reading blanks. So here is your first question on the screen, and then post your answers in the chat box. Okay, should be done. Anybody left to post the answer? Do we need while? No, Shivali. Before the comma, you have a place. You don't use while for place. While is used for time. For place, we use where. On November 8th, let me still check. Yeah. On November 8th, Adolf Hitler and Erich Ludendorff launched an abortive attempt to dash the government of the Weimar Republic. So with to comes first form of verb. We have to subdue the government, to overthrow the government. These are two first forms of verb. So subdue is to conquer and overthrow is to remove. Subdue is when you want to gain control of. So here we'll go with overthrow because their purpose was to throw that government away and then form their own government. That is why we'll go with overthrow, because subdue has nothing to do with change. It's just taking over. So it's better to go with overthrow the government of Weimar Republic. Backed by hundreds of armed brown shirts, Hitler and Ludendorff marched on a Munich beer hall. Dash they proceeded to take dash the prime minister of the place. So hall would be a place, and for place we don't use while. While is used for time or comparison, or when two things happen at the same time, then we use while. For places we use where. So they went to this hall where they proceeded to take dash the prime minister. So where they proceeded to take the prime minister, take hostage the prime minister. We don't, if we put any other word, it doesn't make sense. We cannot say to take security the prime minister. They were there to throw off the government. They won't secure the prime minister there. Rather, they were there to make the prime minister their hostage. Means to hostage, you understand? Like in movies, we say hostages, to bring that person into your custody, kidnap kind of. Yes, Harpal, thank you. To take hostage the prime minister of the place, the local army commander, and the chief of police. After feigning support for Hitler, the three were released and almost immediately disavowed him. Hitler's insurrection collapsed the day after a bloody gun battle with police. The sentence is complete, still we have a blank. So which day, next day, following day, same day, anything like that will work, but not upcoming day. Upcoming means which is yet to happen, yet to come. So it's better to say the next day. The following day, the insurrection collapsed after the gun battle. For the crime of high treason, Hitler received a token prison sentence of 9 months, dash which time he composed his manifesto, this thing. So 9 months is a period of time. Whenever we talk about a period of time, we always go with during. So during this time, during 9 months, that can be referred to as during which here means 9 months. So during which he composed this particular thing. So during was mostly right, following was right. Just some of you wrote while, which was a bit unobvious kind of thing. Otherwise, it's fine. Any confusions, anybody in this first question? Okay. Second one on your screens, 2 minutes to put your answers in the chat box. Good, very well done. Let's discuss power foods are foods that dash rich level of nutrients like fiber, potassium, and minerals. So foods is plural. We need a verb without s. Let's see how many we have. One is supplies, but that is with s, and one is provide, that is without s. We need without s, so we'll go with provide. And it makes sense. Foods provide nutrients. With people becoming health conscious today, a lot of fitness trainers encourage their clients to include these foods in their daily diet to increase muscle development. So people becoming health conscious is a complete sentence. We need adverb because becoming is a verb. We have two adverbs, somewhat or increasingly. The meaning of somewhat is moderate, not high, not low, average, moderate, that is somewhat. But here they say the trainers encourage their clients. So we know that more and more people are becoming health conscious today, increasingly. When with people becoming increasingly health conscious, it's not moderate, it's not average health conscious, they are becoming more health conscious. And that is why the fitness trainers encourage them to include these foods for muscle development. There are various ways of dash power foods in your daily diet. After of, we use ing form of verb. We have various ways of using and various ways of incorporating. But with the word in, we'll prefer incorporating. Incorporating means including power foods in our daily life. Of course, the dash to enjoying power foods is proper preparation of these foods. So after the comes a noun, and we have basis and key. The key to enjoying power foods or the basis to enjoying power foods. So proper preparation of food is the key, can be a key, means the method, the way. This is not the basis to enjoy the food. So the key means the way, the method to enjoy the food is proper preparation, the use of seasoned fresh foods, and identifying your choice of flavor dash power foods. So you have to choose your flavor. That means you have a lot of options. That is why you have to choose. And when we have plural noun and options, we can go with among. You have to choose your flavor among the power foods. Means you have variety of, and you can choose your particular flavor that you like. So among power foods means out of the power foods available. Right? So these are the answers. Some of you have unnecessarily messed this up. Using the word using the word incorporating is including. Right? Any other confusion, anyone? So you have to incorporate means you have to include these foods, power foods in your diet. You don't have to use the food. Do we use food? Do we ever say use this food in your diet? Say include this food in our diet. Okay, the third one, 2 minutes for this, and then post your answers, please. Well done, Siji. What is ahead the future? What is the meaning of ahead the future? We can use the word future ahead, means we can use the word ahead after future. Like we say, have you thought of the future ahead? But you cannot say ahead the future. Can the history of aviation technologies tell us something dash the future of aeronautics? So we generally use tell about together. Tell me about the holidays, tell me about the accident, in this way. So here also we will go with about. Yes, we do have it. Tell us something about the future of aeronautics. Have we reached a final state in which in our evolution to a mature technology in aeronautics? Are the challenges of coming out with the better dash and faster designs somehow inferior to those that are suited for faster, higher, and further? So they are using second forms of verbs, faster, dash, and better. We will also go with second form of verb, and we have only one second form, so there's no choice that we have. Safety should improve greatly dash of the dash improvements in airframes, engines, and avionics. So safety should improve dash of the. We can always eliminate ly words to find the essence or the sense of the sentence. Safety should improve dash of the improvements in airframe. So this part is complete even without the blank. So what can we say? Safety should improve forthcoming of the improvements, thereby of the, thereby doesn't come with of, forward, inferior. But out of the options, as a result always goes with of. So safety should improve as a result of the improvements, and it makes sense. If you are improving the things, safety will definitely improve. So safety should improve as a result of the improvements in airframes and engines. Just picking up the easy words. But still we have a blank. What kind of improvements? So we need a word that can describe the improvements. And this was somewhat based on the next sentence. 60 years from now, aircraft will recover on their own if the pilot loses control. So they were saying safety should improve because of the improvements. Because of which improvements? Because of the next coming improvements. Forthcoming means which are yet to happen. If those, when those improvements will happen, safety will automatically improve. Satellites are the key not only to GPS navigation, but also to in-flight communications, uplinked weather, and even in-flight email. Dash, there is some debate about what types of engines will power future aeroplanes. Lightweight, turbocharged, diesels, or both. So this is hyphen to hyphen part we can eliminate for some time. Dash, there is some debate about what type of engines will be there in the future. There is little debate about how those power plants will be controlled. So there are two parts in this statement, and both the parts are opposite to each other. There is some debate about one thing, but there is little debate about the other thing. Little debate means it's almost clear. So what we have in capitals is since and although. So although is always used when you have contrasting piece of information in the same sentence. Since is used when you can establish either with time period, since 1912, or since is used in place of because, when you have a reason given after the half of the sentence. So there is no reason. There are two different viewpoints. We have doubt about this, but we don't have much doubt about the other thing. So that's not reason. That is two different scenarios given. So that is why we'll go with although. Pilots of the future can look dash to more and better onboard safety equipment. So look forward is a general collocation whenever we are referring to future. For example, have you ever written any letter? At the end, you say, I look forward to your reply. So look forward is waiting. I will keep waiting for your reply. So pilots of the future can look forward to means they can wait. They can expect better equipment, better safety on board. Although is not followed by but also, not only is followed by but also. When you say although, you generally have two pieces of information. There can be a comma in between. Here we don't have the comma because we already have a hyphen. So we cannot have hyphen and comma both. So either we have a comma, but this was a bit improved version of the sentence where we had a hyphen and that's why comma was not there. Otherwise, there will be a comma in all those sentences. Right? Any confusions, anyone here? So tell us about, then we need second form of verb because the other two words were second form. So cheaper was only option we had. As a result of the safety should improve, as a result of the improvements, what kind of improvements? The yet to happen improvements, which means the next coming, upcoming, forthcoming improvements. And although, because there are two parts, although there is doubt in this, there is no doubt in that. So some debate and little debate should be understood as some doubt and almost no doubt. And look forward is a collocation. Right. Her last question for today, the fourth one, 2 minutes to post your answers. Good, very well done. Good start and a good end. It is better to choose a career at the high school level than go for higher studies. So the sentence was complete. So we should look for adverb, and we had only one, two, every and aimlessly. Every is also an adverb. So we'll go with aimlessly. Every doesn't fit at the end of the sentence. One should go for a vocational course at this stage. There are many careers, professions, and vocations to choose from. We generally say there are many options to choose from. There are many dishes to choose from. So we write this sentence structure. They are teaching medicine, law, technology, trade, computer, government, positions in army, etc. But dash of these requires. So requires tells us that the noun has to be singular, and the singular noun is each of these requires special aptitude, training, and resources. One may have proper qualifications and aptitude for a career of a doctor or engineer, but if there are no financial dash to train for it, one cannot choose it as one's career. So R tells us that the answer has to be plural, and we had fund and resources matching with the statement, but because we needed plural, we have to go with resources. If there are no resources to train for it, we cannot choose it as our career. Right? So those who have written fund, don't be in a hurry because it's the last question. And please follow this in the exam as well. Each and every blank for second or third or the last one is equally important because they carry the equal marks. So please make sure that you don't rush at the end and you don't panic in the beginning. Both things are important. So these were all the questions that we had to do today and in this week as well. So I hope that you would have noted down so many things that I was trying to explain or trying to repeat or trying to put forward, because unless and until you apply, you include, you incorporate those things in your ways of doing, it will take longer to improve. So the sooner you will do that, the better will be the result, the outcome. Make sure that whatever you have learned in these 4 classes of this week, you are trying to use these things in the next 3 days, the weekend, right? So those who don't have any problems or confusions, yes, you are free to go. I'll see you next week, Monday at the same time, 6:30 p.m. according to Sydney timing. Till then, have a great weekend. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the Vivid Sydney. Those who haven't, they can go there. And I'll see you soon.